Good morning. So, hey, good morning to all of you. And last class, we try to understand what is the typical structure of a typical instruction. And we have gone through this example that is at LOCA location and R0. And there you have seen that the original contents at that location are preserved. The original contents of R0, that is the register, that is now been overwritten. This too is very important. Now, instruction is fetched from the memory into the processor. See, this is the way how the instruction is executed. Okay, the instruction is fetched from the memory into the processor. The operand at location is fetched and added to the contents of that register, and the resulting sum is stored in the register R0. And in the last class also, I hope that you admitted that you got it, which how this instruction is going on. Based on that, I would like to ask simple question to you, which you will answer me after this class when you'll get the recorded link. That is load LOCA, R1. All of you can see my screen, right? My screen is visible to all of you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, look. Okay, so these two instructions, load LOCA, R1. You can call it as suppose zeroth instruction. Then add R1, R0. You can call it as instruction number 1. Now, my question to all of you that what contents will be overwritten? All of you will answer individually when you'll get this link. Now, in the last class, also I have asked one more question about the memory address register and memory data register. You need to tell something on them with a diagram. So I got good responses from you. You have gone through it. Now, still, we will today focus on discussing these registers particularly. As I can see in the competitive examination question papers, there are questions from this. Basic questions like what this particular register does, okay, and one or two features of that register. So registers, or I can say essential registers, are instruction register, program counter, general purpose register, see R0 to Rn-1, memory address register, and memory data register. So let's try to discuss each of them in details. So this, as I have said, essential register means without them, the instruction is not going to be executed. So that's why essential register. You need to just remember this short forms, the PC, IR, okay, MBR, or sometimes also MDR and MAR shortly for this instruction, means registers. Look at this diagram. I hope you can clearly see this diagram. So address bus is there for the communication. Memory, you know that why we need memory. Then control bus, then this is our processor. Control unit, then processor is linked to that memory address register. Now see, this is data bus. Remember, this one is address bus, this one is data bus, and this one is control bus. Address bus, control bus, and data bus. Control bus directly linked to the control unit CPU. Data bus is related to Ambient, then address bus is related to MAR. So you got it that in future I may ask you a question that to which bus the MBR is linked to it. So the answer will be
Sir, data bus.
very good. Similarly, question may be coming like which bus MAR is related or means linked. The answer will be address bus. So you need to focus on this. Then, so once more, that address bus, MAR, data bus, MBR, control bus, control unit, CPU. Okay, and the CPU is directly linked with that MAR. That IR, instruction register, is directly linked to MBR. Okay. Now come to the first essential register, that is program counter. Program counter is shortly known as PC. This program counter contains the address of an instruction to be executed next. Just इसके बाद जो instruction execute होने जा रहे हैं उसका जो एड्रेस होगा वो हम कहाँ रखा जाता है ये program counter. I'm repeating again. Okay. Why? Because this is asked. ये जो क्वेश्चन है बहुत बार पूछा गया है कि प्रोग्राम काउंटर में क्या रहता है, right? What is there in the program counter? So program counter contains the address of that instruction which will be executed next. Okay, which will be executed next. The PC is updated by the CPU after each instruction executed so that it always points to the next instruction to be executed. ये जो प्रोग्राम काउंटर है इसको रेगुलर अपडेट करना होता है क्योंकि आपको पता है बहुत सारे इंस्ट्रक्शन एग्जीक्यूट होता है हमारे जो सीपीयू है उसको हम आइडल नहीं रखना चाहते हैं you know that from your basic classes on operating system that the processor should not be idle should so the processor should not be kept idle so that's why this PC you mean this means what instruction will be executed. Okay, so when instructions are executed, the PC will be updated because this should be updated so that so means after each instruction so that it always points to the next instruction to be executed. Right? So next instruction क्या होगा उसके जो मतलब एड्रेस है ठीक है ये चीज अपडेट करना पड़ेगा आपको कहाँ पीसी में प्रोग्राम काउंटर. A branch or script instruction will also modify the content of the PC. So you got it. That main point that you have to know about the program counter is that it contains the address of that instruction which will be executed next. After each instruction, this should be updated by CPU so that it will always point to the next instruction, and a branch or skip instruction will also modify the content of PC. Now, instruction register, IR. Instruction register, from the name itself, it is clear that it contains the instruction. But what instruction? Which is most recently fetched or executed. I'm repeating again. Instruction register contains that instruction which is most recently fetched or executed. The fetch instruction is loaded into an IR where the opcode and operand specifier are analyzed. So ये इंस्ट्रक्शन रजिस्टर में जो मोस्ट रिसेंटली फैच किया गया है या तो एग्जीक्यूट किया गया है वो इंस्ट्रक्शन को हम रखते हैं और ये इंस्ट्रक्शन कैसे लोडेड किया जाता है दिस इंस्ट्रक्शन इज लोडेड इनटू एन एआर बट हर एक इंस्ट्रक्शन का क्या है आपका opcode and operand specifier. Opcode and operand specifier. This should be analyzed. Right? So these things you have to know about instruction register. So containing the most recently fetched instruction, and this when it is loaded into an IR, as you know that every instruction containing that opcode, operation code, and the operand specifier, they will be analyzed for this purpose. Now next one is the MBR or MDR. MBR means memory buffer register. Sometimes it is also known as memory data register. So MBR or MDR. Now, what it exactly contains? This memory buffer register contains a word of data to be written to memory are the words most recently reached. So a word of data, it contains what? A word of data to be written to memory. ठीक है, जो हम मेमोरी में राइट करने जा रहे हैं उस पार्टिकुलर वर्ड ऑफ डेटा जो मोस्ट रिसेंटली यूज रीड है, ठीक है, उसको कहाँ रखते हैं हम? मेमोरी बफर रजिस्टर. फिर से बोल रहा हूँ, सुन लेना अच्छे से कि एमबीआर में क्या है आपका, जो अभी रिसेंटली रीड किया गया वर्ड है जिसको हम मेमोरी में सपोज राइट करने जा रहे हैं, ओके, इसको रखा जाता है एमबीआर में. ठीक है, इसलिए इसका नाम बफर है. यू नो द मीनिंग ऑफ बफर. ओके, so buffer means what? Can anybody tell me?
Sir, temporary storage.
Very good. Okay. So contents of MBR are directly connect to the data bus, as I have already mentioned in that. So you got it. What is MBR? Now the last one, that is MAR or memory address register. This MAR will contain the address of a location of main memory from where information has to be fetched or information has to be stored. ठीक है, तो what MAR contains? It contains that location of memory, main memory of course, जहां से वो इंस्ट्रक्शन और इंफॉर्मेशन को हम फैच करेंगे और जहां मतलब हम इंफॉर्मेशन को स्टोर करेंगे. ठीक है, इट कंटेन्स द एड्रेस ऑफ मेमोरी और मेन मेमोरी फ्रॉम वेयर इंफॉर्मेशन हैज टू बी फेच, जहां से फेच किया जाएगा. और इसीलिए आपको पता होगा उस डायग्राम में मैंने क्या दिखाया था आपको, जो एमएआर है, एमएआर किस बस से लिंक है? तो व्हिच बस? एड्रेस बस. ठीक है, जो आपका एमएआर है, ध्यान से देखो यहाँ पे, ये किस बस से रिलेटेड है? एड्रेस बस में. क्यों? क्योंकि ये मेमोरी से इंफॉर्मेशन को क्या कर रहा है? फैच कर रहा है, रिट्रीव कर रहा है. राइट, गॉट इट ना? बुझी पाइसा सुबे?
Yes, sir.
So that is memory address register. So apart from these registers, we also have some other registers. Okay, like temporary buffer register और बहुत सारे हैं. But जो essential registers हम बात करते हैं तो वो ये प्रोग्राम काउंटर है, जहां आपने देखा जो इंस्ट्रक्शन नेक्स्ट एग्जीक्यूट करने जा रहे हैं उसको रखा गया था. इंस्ट्रक्शन रजिस्टर जो मोस्ट रिसेंटली फेच्ड इंस्ट्रक्शन है उसको रखा गया था. मेमोरी बफर रजिस्टर जिस डाटा वर्ड को हम राइट करने जा रहे हैं मेमोरी में, ठीक है, उसको रखा गया था. और एमएआर मतलब सिर्फ उस एड्रेस और वो लोकेशन को रखा जाता है जहां से इंफॉर्मेशन को फैच किया गया था. राइट, और इसमें इंपॉर्टेंट ये था कि क्या क्या बात इससे रिलेटेड है और लिंक. सो आई होप इन दिस लेक्चर you are very clear with these essential registers and how they work with respect to our control unit and the processing of an instruction. So with this, I'm stopping for today. We'll discuss the rest portion in the next class. Thank you.